this afternoon sports slay with the queen, Micah K. Now remember, I'm doing this for the love of the game. This is Basketball Wine Wednesdays. Today, again, I am sipping on the Snoop Dogg Cali Red 19 Crimes. As you can see, I still got the big wine glass out and I got the little wine glass out, okay? Now, today is a big day because it is LeBron James' birthday, but we're going to get into some other things first. This is the New Year's edition wrap up with boxing, so I'm going to touch on a little boxing first, then we're going to discuss a little bit about LeBron. But what I need you guys to do, make sure you got those wine glasses out. I'm going to give you a moment, okay? Make sure you ready, make sure you prepared, because it's about to be a new year, so we're going to sip a little bit more than what we usually do on this one, because this is a big one, all right? It's the wrap up, and then it's the GOAT's birthday. So let's get into some things. First, we're going to talk about boxing. Now, best fights of the year for me would definitely have to be Teofimo Lopez versus Vasil Lomachenko. Now, Lopez showed how impressive his skill set and his ability to make adjustments. And once again, I also love Lomachenko. I love his boxing style, the way he moves his feet and his head movement. Now, number 2 on my list for best fights of the year would have to go to Gervonta Tank Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz. Tank showed his power and aggression, okay, against Cruz. He KO'd him in the 6th round with a left uppercut. Number 3 on my list would have to be Nakatani versus Felix. Now, Nakatani was coming off a 15-month layoff due to a broken jaw suffered against Teofimo Lopez. So that is crazy in itself. Now, he got knocked down early twice, okay, against Felix, but he came back and won that fight. The reason why I chose Nakatani, because I love that he can deal with adversity. He is very resilient and he can still come back. Matter of fact, it seems like when he gets hit sometimes or he gets knocked down, he comes back even stronger and harder. And I love that in an athlete, because that lets me know he has a strong mindset. And in sports, in order to be great, your mind has to be on point. Now, let's talk about best comeback fights of the year. I am going to give that to number 1 on the list is Earl Spence Jr. versus Danny Garcia, okay? Very special to see Spence come back from a horrific car accident like he did. He showed us that his skill set is still there. He moves still well in the ring, and he utilized the jab really well in that fight, all right? Now, number 2 on the list, once again, would have to be Nakatani versus Felix, because I just love how Nakatani came back, and I feel like, listen, he could hurt a lot of people in some next fights, big upcoming fights that he might have. Now, let's get into most exciting futures for me. It would definitely have to be the twins, Jamel and Jamal Charlo. They put the world on notice with the doubleheader with pay-per-view. Let everybody know that, listen, we are great, we here to stay, we do boxing, our work ethic is there, and can't nobody touch us. That's what they let everybody know, okay? You got to take it from us. Number 2 on that list, as far as most exciting futures, would have to be Tank Davis, and I definitely have to put Shakur Stevenson on the list, Spence, Ryan Garcia, and Lopez, and I also want to add Colbert to the list as well. Now, what I am going to do, I'm going to discuss boxing sleepers really soon, not right now, but I want to kind of cover a couple boxers who I feel like people could possibly be sleeping on. Now, let's get into the phenomenal eye test fighters. These are my phenomenal eye test fighters of 2020 who stands out to me the most, okay? I know with some talks and critics have certain things to say about these fighters, but number 1 on my list would have to be Canelo Alvarez, okay? And number 2 is Shakur Stevenson. So these 2 fighters, to me, pass the phenomenal eye test. Now, the reason why I say this, because the skill set that stands out to me the most with both of these fighters would have to be defense, okay? Canelo, his defense is A1. The way his head movement, crazy. Now, Shakur Stevenson reminds you of a young Floyd with his defense, and I feel like the goal in boxing is to not get hit. And Canelo and Shakur Listen, Canelo has mastered it, and I feel like Shakur is going to master it. Now, Shakur is younger, so he has even more time, and we have to see certain things from him. But those two pass my eye test, and I'm talking strictly in the ring when you pay close attention to the skill set and their overall skill set. Now, honorable mention would have to go to Terrence Crawford. A lot of you might not know this, but Terrence Crawford has been one of my favorite fighters for the longest. Even though I want to see him fight more elite competition, the one thing that stands out to me with Terrence Crawford is he's a finisher. He's one of the greatest finishers I have ever seen. When I see him, sometimes I am on the edge of my seat, and I come from Detroit, okay? I grew up in Detroit, and one thing that I see about Crawford, when I was around certain homeboys or people that I grew up with, or when I saw certain people fight, he reminds me of somebody in the city sometimes. I'm not saying he's exactly like, because I don't want people to be like, oh, this and that. But what I'm saying is, what reminds me of him is like kind of like a hood person, because listen, he don't let up. If he coming for you, or if he beating you up and he smell blood, he gonna get the job done. That's what Crawford does. All right. Now, trainer of the year goes to Derrick James, and a close second would definitely have to be Teofimo Lopez's dad, Lopez Sr., because I felt like he backed up everything he said, and they definitely got the job done against Lomachenko. Now, a couple other faves, because I haven't did my favorite boxing list yet, but I wanted to mention Deontay Wilder, all right, and Tony Harrison. I definitely want to see what those two men do in 2021, who they're going to fight, how everything is going to happen. Now, let's talk about knockouts of the year. I'm definitely going to give that to Tank Davis and Jermell Charlo. Now, what I also want all my Slayers and Slayettes to do is go check out my prediction video that will definitely be releasing tomorrow, okay? Because this is coming out on Wednesday. Ryan Garcia versus Luke Campbell. That's a big fight night right after New Year's Day. Now, let's talk about basketball. Before we do, let's take a little sip, all right? Remember, it's about to be a new year, so we got to salute to the new year. Happy New Year to everybody. Let's talk about basketball. So the sports moment of the year would definitely have to be, for me, listen, the Lakers winning the championship and LeBron getting his 4th ring. And I just want to say happy birthday to my GOAT, the king, since LeBron James is royalty, and I'm royalty too, because I'm the queen. This is Micah K, and you watching my show, right? So we're going to also take another sip. Listen, we sipping today, y'all. Are we not? Okay. Let's take another sip. We got to do it. Now, this is for all the haters, because, listen, if you are a LeBron fan, you feel like you go through it with him, because you got to deal with a lot of hate. And when you got to deal with a lot of hate, you got to listen. You got to be prepared. You got to be mentally there. You got to let the hate not phase you at all. And that's what LeBron James has been good at doing, all right? Now, let's get into some stats, because we need to let the haters know they're going to continue to hate, but the king is going to continue to be great. Now, let's get into it. We're going to talk about some stats as far as dealing with the playoffs. Now, in order to appreciate LeBron's statistical domination among his contemporaries, we're going to take a look at the leaders in each of these categories when it comes to the playoffs this century. Let's get into some things. As far as points, LeBron James has 7,491. The close second is Kobe Bryant with 4,376. And the third is Tim Duncan with 4,274. Now, you see the points, okay? You see the comparisons. Y'all ready? Buckle up. All right, let's get into assists. He is number 1, all right, with 1,871. Do you want me to continue? Yes, I think we should, right? Okay. Let's give it to him. Defensive rebounds, LeBron James, 1,954. Number 2 on that list, Tim Duncan, 1,880. Okay? With steals, LeBron James has 445. Y'all, we might need to take a moment, just pause and really understand what we're saying right now. Or what I'm saying, okay? Because I hope it's really grabbing your attention. Now, Manu Ginobili has 292 steals. Let's get into 3-pointers, all right? Steph Curry has made 470. LeBron James is 414. Now, mind you, LeBron James, what is his position on the court? Okay, he is a small forward. So really take into consideration the stats that I'm giving you and understand how great these stats are and understand how great this man is. He's great, okay, on the court and off the court. Let's talk about some of his community work. Now, LeBron James I Promise School is helping students during the coronavirus pandemic. Okay, so what did he do? All right, so they partnered with Smuckers and Akron Food Bank to prep and give packages filled with food, toothpaste, and toilet paper to its 1,443 enrolled students and their families. Okay, the center has remained open for any families that need shelter, clothing, medical care, and mental health assistance. And the center has kept its hotline open. So, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, he's the one. And so when I talk about royalty, I just don't talk about royalty on the court. I talk about compassion. I talk about what are you doing off the court. I talk about who are you as a person? What is your character? Do you have love for other people? And we definitely need that in 2020 with so many things that happen with the pandemic. And we pray right now that 2021 is going to be prosperous. It's going to be better. So what I want all my slayers and slayettes to do too right now is take another sip. Take another sip. Enjoy this day. Enjoy this moment. It's a blessing that we all are still here. And I'm real big on manifesting things. So I speak into existence right now that Afternoon Sports Slay is going to be one of the greatest sports companies to ever live. And whatever you feel like your dreams and goals are, manifest them. Speak them out loud right now. See, you didn't know you was going to get all this in this channel. This is just not a sports channel. This is to help uplift you, to help encourage you, okay? Because I want to tell you guys, you are not alone. I had struggles in 2022. I cried. Listen, it was some days that I felt like I didn't know what I was going to do, but I didn't give up because I believe in God, I believe in the future, and I believe in hope. And I want all my slayers and slayettes to do the same thing, to not give up. You are great. I am great, okay? We are here to motivate each other. Now, it's definitely going to be more collabs on the way. Listen, I'm even going to do a little football talk. I have not forgot about football. We're going to get into some things. We're going to do some baseball talk. I told you I got some heat on the way. Definitely. And if you are new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button and that notification bell. Also follow me on my social media platforms, IG at MK Sports Slay, Twitter at MK Sports Slay, and my Facebook business page, Micah K. Now this is the queen, Micah K. All right. I'm doing this for the love of the game. I want you to take one last sip for me. All right. We're going to go with the little glass. One more sip. Salute and Happy New Year. I'm out. This is Afternoon Sports Slay.